Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and I'm feeling a little bit poorly today. My throat's all sore, and I feel like I'm just, you know, that feeling when you're just about to come down with something. So I might not be speaking as much in this video because my throat's all dried up. But the video I'm looking at today is dating preferences, a very honest and open conversation. Well, this is a reaction video, so let's get the conversation started, because the conversation is two-way. So this is by Kidology. And oh, that's a nice picture I've got up there. Yeah, this is by Kidology. And I used to be a magician, and there used to be a convention, a magic convention for children's entertainers called Kidology. So that's the context that I'm used to hearing it in. So let's see what this lady's got to say, because I haven't seen any of her videos before.
We're doing this because people are making some pretty hefty assumptions that I think we need to discuss, not just about me, but just generically when it comes to dating, when it comes to standards, and
I think I've got this on double the speed.
We're doing this because people are making
We are doing this. I got you at the right speed now. Right, let's see what this lady's got to say.
some pretty hefty assumptions that I think we need to discuss, not just about me, but just generically when it comes to dating, when it comes to standards, and when it comes to preferences. Salutations and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kidology, and I make videos about everything and anything to do with modern society. And that
I make videos to do with relationships, and I think that I mean, I focus a lot on like dating and stuff, and I've done a lot of family court videos and feminism and all that kind of crap. But yeah, I mostly focus on relationships, and I think the best relationship you can be in is the one that you have with yourself. And if you get that one right, then all the other ones should fall into place nicely.
regrettably includes myself. So this is in a sense a part 2 to my latest video, which is titled Men Reject Women Too, That's Life, and That's Why I'm Celibate. Okay, something along those lines.
I don't understand why. Is that involuntary celibate then? Are you saying that you're an incel, or is it voluntary celibacy? That being, you see, this is probably one of those conversations where I probably best chat to her or watch more of her videos to understand the context of what she's saying, because I'm just thrown in the deep end here. But let's get into this.
And I really appreciated, firstly, the comments. Everybody was really so kind and so thoughtful, and it really seemed to resonate with a lot of people. So this in absolutely no way reflects even a percentage of the comments that I got. But I think it is important to actually expand on some things. A lot of underlying assumptions that were made about why I am, for instance, celibate, and also just assumptions being made about particularly the kind of men that I'm interested in. So once again, this is going to be a bit of a personal one, but I think I can sort of tie it in an interesting way to a lot of arguments and points that hopefully resonate and relate to you.
Wow, this is quite deep already. So it's a 35-minute video. Maybe I should have kept it on double the speed just to get through this. No, I want to give this lady my full time and attention. Right, beauty is wig deep.
Maybe you've been rejected because you like far-right white men who want white women, or at least women who pick better wigs. I felt bad typing it, but somebody needs to tell this young woman the very obvious truth. Also, this wig is very tired and overused. I know she can afford one with at least more tracks. Okay, firstly, I have never made it a secret that wear not wigs but weaves. It is really not a secret. In fact, millions of women
I didn't know that. Just by looking at her, I didn't think about that.
across the world throughout history, as well as men, have been dyeing their hair, have been cutting and styling their hair. It is kind of a tenet of being in society, not just modern society, but pretty much any society in human existence and history. I think a reality that a lot of, especially I would say modern men, need to realize is that the woman who they see with beautiful, long, luscious hair, it isn't actually their hair. There are a lot of secrets with regards to a woman's beauty and beauty routine.
I know what she's saying. I actually do have a beautiful girlfriend that has beautiful long hair, and it's all natural, and she don't wear any makeup and all that kind of shit. But that is rare. It's rare. I agree with what you're saying.
routines and procedures that are deemed to be natural, which really are not, and it's absolutely fine. It really is. I, for instance, when I was at university, never wore makeup, no cosmetics. I did not wear wigs or weaves, any.
I love that. I can't think of a girl that I've dated that wore makeup or wore a lot of makeup. I just don't like makeup on girls. I just don't. So I appreciate how people naturally look, however they are.
Thing of the sort. And when I left university, I started experimenting with makeup and cosmetics and with wigs and weaves. And honestly, I have been treated like a woman, and I have been treated with attention that I actually prefer and like. Men find me more attractive when I look like this. Women also find me more attractive when I look like this. And I like that because I am a human being and it makes me feel better. I feel more comfortable. Of course, there are flaws in anything and there are problems with anything. For instance, I recognize now that I do have quite an unhealthy obsession with makeup. I, for instance, cannot even go out and put out the rubbish without making sure that I have at least some concealer on. I cannot go out with my natural hair ever. I just can't. It's a thing just with me.
Well, I'm not going to doubt her experiences, but like maybe she can, like, because it sounds like she used to, because she's done both, so she can do it. She just chooses not to because she prefers the reaction that she gets when she goes out with it on, maybe. But oh, that's sad either way.
But you know, it is what it is. We all have insecurities. So I don't think we should be shamed about that because I make no secret that I am wearing a weave. I am also very aware that it doesn't look like natural hair, and that obviously is not the aim here. Yes.
Seriously, mate, I didn't notice it. You just look like a normal girl to me. It's just, it didn't look like it was, you know, put on or anything like that. Like, look, I ain't got a wig on either. I'm fucking bald as anything. So, yeah, I don't really... It's so bizarre because everything that I teach on this channel, obviously you got to be attracted to somebody, but like, everything I teach on this channel is based on honesty, trust, and respect. And then on top of that, you could add loyalty. That's over time. But yeah, it's based on honesty, trust and respect. And those are the things that I say that people should exhibit. And those are the things that people should look for in other individuals, whether that's as a friend, whether that's someone that you're dating and all that kind of stuff. So the way I see it, as long as somebody presents themselves honestly, that's the most important thing in a relationship.
Has to do with an amalgamation of things, including, I would say, the vast majority of which is insecurities, as well as an almost non-existent self-image when it comes to not wearing makeup, not wearing a weave, etc. But that is just reinforced by the fact that I have been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been somebody who doesn't wear any cosmetics, any makeup, doesn't dress in a feminine way, and I am now at this point. And, well, I prefer being at this point just in terms of how I feel out in public, in terms of the attention that I have garnered from individuals, from people, not even in a romantic sense, but just in terms of people being a lot nicer to me. And I guess you could...
Yeah, it's better quality attention. So that's what I'm saying. So she could go out without it if she wanted to, but she chooses not to because of the way in which she's treated.
Say that that's commentary on our society or just a commentary on just everything, but it is what it is and I accept it because that is life. This is something that I get a lot in not just my videos and not just in the comment section, but also in emails. I love reading your emails when I have the time, but I do spend 90% of my time not on the internet. This is my job, so I don't respond to emails hardly ever, only on the very off and rare occasions, so I do apologize for that. I rarely respond to emails. I do read all of my emails. It may take me about a year to get to your email, but I get a lot, but just based on the sort of reading the first.
Okay, well, I might send you an email then and we'll see how long it takes.
Lines of an email or just going off the title of an email. I get a lot of emails which are about this assumption that I only date white men, that I only am friends with white people, and that I have a racial preference. Now,
What fucking idiot makes that assumption? That's a weird thing to assume, isn't it?
I want to be very clear. I have absolutely no problem with preferences. In fact, all human beings, irrespective of what they try to purport, have preferences for everything. Not just humans and relationships, but just even what they put into their gob at the beginning of the day. Preferences are just a part of life. However, I think in this day and age, especially with social media and especially with dating apps, which I absolutely loathe in every sense of the word, we have placed
You know, I actually enjoy the dating apps, and I think I'm probably the only person that does, because everybody that I watch and listen to says that they hate the dating apps.
our preferences above real life. Because the thing is, when I reflect on all the individuals whom I have actually been in relationships with, all the individuals whom I've fallen in love with, whom I've been even physically attracted to, none of them fit into any of my preferences at all. None of them fits perfectly into my preferences in any shape or form. And I think that is what is not only scary about life, but also kind of beautiful and exciting about it. Because I never imagined that I would be physically attracted to the people whom I have gone to bed with. In my wildest dreams, I have been attracted to all manner of men. And that's because I have really made it a mission to not be on dating apps and to try to be as distinct from them and their criteria and what they place as expectations as is humanly possible. Now, I think an important distinction needs to be made, especially with regards to the time that I did spend on dating apps. When I went on dating apps, I would get lots of responses from men, lots of responses, as do most women on dating apps, because as we know, almost 80% of people on dating apps are men. And so when you look at that and the fact that I said I have gotten quite a bit of attention from men on these dating apps, it doesn't make sense to, I think, a lot of people when I say that I've been rejected by men and that I am celibate based on that fact. But then we need
That is interesting. That's very interesting.
to look at the flip side, which is that I don't text and I hate texting and I hate what dating apps have ultimately forced us into. This idea that
Okay, yeah, I'm the same. I don't like texting and all that kind of shit. I prefer meeting up with somebody in person and getting to know somebody. So, yeah, I actually have a product called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. And it's based on the 3 principles of honesty, trust and respect that I said about at the beginning of this video.
we can form a relationship founded purely on a profile picture, purely on social media profiles, and purely on text messages and on words, because that is absolutely in no way reciprocal or in any way correlates to how we actually interact, how we actually form relationships, how we actually form opinions, how we actually find ourselves attracted to someone. Because what would happen when I matched with somebody, when somebody started talking to me by sending me a message, is I would say pretty much the same thing after about 2 lines of text between us, namely hi, how are you? Oh, I'm well, thank you, how are you? Sort of thing. And what I would say was roughly this: hi, I'm sorry, I really don't like social media, online communication. It just feels very arbitrary, not terribly sincere, and I'm terrible at texting and responding in a sort of reasonable manner. I'm a serial ghoster, basically. So if you're interested, I would love for us to just go out for a drink at your earliest convenience so that we can actually just get to know each other properly and just see where it goes from there. And as soon as I said that, I can tell you that 99% of these men would either not respond to me or just say no. I get that in this day and age.
Okay, my lovely. I'd recommend you get, it's called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success, but it can also work for women as well. Get my product, use it, let me know how you get on with it, because, and I'll put an advert in here. I'm going to put an advert in right here now. Hello, my name is Doug and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever. So that's my product. Get it, use it, just flip it around. So instead of for women, it's for men. Use the dating product. And that'll tell you exactly what to write. And it'd be interesting because I know it works for guys because that's why I sell it for men. But I don't know if it works for women. So let me know. It should work on men the same way it works on women. But I've never tested it, so I don't know. So have a try of it and let me know what you think.
Of the talking points and with of these men would either not respond to me or just say no. I get that in this day and age, especially with sort of the things that I found, at least when I first went on dating apps, I found were sort of the talking points and were the things that were important, especially with men. They tended to feel that they had to show off to me. And by showing off, I meant showing off in terms of their job and their income, in terms of their height, in terms of their looks, that it was things that really actually, when it came to meeting them, didn't matter to me and haven't actually mattered.
You know what? Another suggestion I've got as well is if you wanted to, we could sit down together and bring up your Tinder or Bumble or whatever it is that you got, and I'll help you out personally, and we could do a video on it, and we can do a collab or something like that. Because there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting loads of dates. There's no reason at all.
To me. And I don't say this in the way that, oh, I don't care how much a man earns or whatever because, well, you know, I'm just such a great gal and all of these sorts of things. No, not in this day and age, especially with sort of the things that I found, at least when I first went on dating apps, I found were sort of the talking points and were the things that were important, especially with men. They tended to feel that they had to show off to me. And by showing off, I meant showing off in terms of their job and their income, in terms of their height, in terms of their looks, that it was things that really actually, when it came to meeting them, didn't matter to me and haven't actually mattered to me. And I don't say this in the way that, oh, I don't.
Yeah, and that's interesting because when I've done reaction videos to Fresh and Fit, and I'll put a link in here somewhere, like there should be a little sign thing majiggy coming up. When I've done, that's all they ever bang on about is height, looks, money, status, all that kind of shit. And it's really ultimately not what attracts the kind of woman that you want to attract. Although those things are relevant, they're not as important as they're making them out to be.
Care how much a man earns or whatever because, well, you know, I'm just such a great gal and all of these sorts of things. No, not at all. I think my opinion on sort of money.
Yeah. I'm just reading that thing that she's put on the screen. Yeah, attraction isn't a choice. Desire isn't a choice. We don't choose who we're attracted to. We don't look at somebody and go, right, you know what? This person ticks everything on my list. I'm going to decide to be attracted to them. And then when we're in love with somebody, we don't then decide, right, I'm going to be unattracted to them. We just kind of, we're kind of just drawn to some people and not others. And there's so many underlying forces that are going on that's deep within us. And it's very mysterious. Attraction is not a choice. It's a very mysterious thing that goes on inside of consciousness. And we don't fully understand consciousness.
and status and things like that has a lot to do with my childhood and upbringing, which was very abnormal and very distinct from, I would say, the majority of people's upbringings in the modern world.
Men and money.
I was, if you don't know, fostered, then adopted, then fostered again throughout my childhood. And by this, my life was quite tumultuous. I quite literally went from living in what I would deem to be a mansion, living in wealth with a maid, with somebody who made my bed and cooked my meals 1 year, to then living in a small room with a whole family, to then living in a boarding school. My life was just so many different things and so many different experiences of wealth and privilege or otherwise. And because of that, everything has seemed and appeared incredibly fleeting, particularly money. And in that way, YouTube is kind of a good job for me. 1 month I can make $100, the next 2,000. So I'm very good at sort of adapting to instability and to the instability of things and just going with it, which is why I sort of have this.
Yeah, Nassim Taleb calls that anti-fragile, and he's done a few good books on that.
Attitude of really not caring about a lot of things. And this has sort of been reflected in my adult years. I went from being at probably one of the world's most prestigious, most expensive, most high-class universities to working in a superstore and now to being a YouTuber. So my life really doesn't exactly stay on course. And I'm also, as a consequence, not a terribly aspirational person. My life has never been an upward trajectory, and that is not really my aim, at least financially speaking and in terms of status. Contrary to popular belief, whenever somebody asks me where I went to school, what I studied, where I graduated from, and then I tell them, their response is always, well, why aren't you doing politics? Why aren't you in London? Why aren't you a consultant? Why aren't you doing what everybody else who did your course is doing now? Why aren't you in government? And the truth of the matter is, I don't care for it. Life is too short, and it isn't something that I feel would make me happy or fulfilled. It isn't something that I find terribly interesting. Beyond that of merely making YouTube videos about...
Again, you've got to be drawn to things that are meaningful to you in the same way that you're drawn to things that, you know, you're attracted to.
it, because it's just a whole different experience and it's wonderful. And I think based on just reading some of the comments that I got from my last video, people find this quite a hard concept to grasp, that there are people in this world, in fact, I would say there are millions of people in this world who really don't care about those types of things, who really don't care about how much money a man makes, because I really don't. The last man that I loved, who was not my last ex but just one before, he was a security guard. Yes, the security guard who works nights walking around a construction site or a mall. Yeah, that was my last love, whom I absolutely loved and adored. And you know how we met? We met in person, because that is the thing that I have always valued. Every single person who I've actually had a...
So far, I like this girl, and I'm with her 100%. I haven't seen any of her other videos. I don't know what her stance is on a lot of things. And, sorry, I'm a bit distracted because I'm watching this woman trying to park. And she's really struggling, bless her. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Long-term relationship with, I have met in person, and they have asked me out in person, in the flesh, and that means so much to me. I have found myself attracted to people purely because of their smile, because of them smiling at me, because of them looking at me, because of us locking eyes, if you want.
Yeah, it's quality attention. It's kind of going back to what she was saying earlier. It's sort of like men want sex and women want attention, and that's a healthy exchange in a relationship. So if a woman's not putting out sex or a man's not giving good quality attention, then it kind of diminishes.
To call it that. And these are people whom in absolutely no way fit what I would deem to be my preferences that I would put on a dating app or I would put on paper. And it's great because it means that, therefore, this translates into a lot of my apolitical views. I don't care if you are left-leaning. I don't care if you are right-leaning. I don't care if you make 100K a year.
Yeah, I do it based on how we treat one another, so it's based on honesty, trust and respect. And I know that it sounds very, I'm going to keep repeating it, and I repeat it in all my videos, because it's the core of what I do. And it's very easy to say those three words, but it's very difficult to implement them and find out what all the value is in them. To really be honest with somebody, to really respect someone, to really trust someone, especially yourself. It's a really, this overly used word, empowering thing to be able to do. And once you're empowered, then you don't require that validation from people outside of yourself in the same way. And you have a healthy relationship with yourself.
Or if you make 15k a year. My last true love was a security guard who lived with his mum. And we were so happy until he dumped me on his birthday for no viable reason and then just disappeared. But this
Well, the story started off romantic.
isn't about... This was years ago, it's fine. We've moved on. We have moved on.
It's funny now. Right, let's have a look. Oh shit, an advert. You know, I did pay for to get rid of the bloody adverts, and now they're back again, and I'm not a fan of them.
This is a crisis.
Oh shit, is it?
High costs.
Go away. Racial preferences and me.
I think it's very important for us
That sounds like a film, like, you know, Marley and me or something. Racial preferences and me.
to actually not just reckon with our preferences, but to actually just realize that we really cannot fit people into our preferences. What we have to do is have to sort of accept that our preferences are just sort of there as sort of a guiding light, I suppose, but that life is far more complex than anything that our preferences could ever fathom. I mean, I found myself head over heels for men who are shorter than me, men who have beer bellies, who have graying temple hair, men who have tattoos all over their bodies, men who literally look like they've just emerged from a cave, men who are so prim and proper and clean cut and just the amalgamation of what you would call a slick, clean modern man. I've been head over heels for all of them, and absolutely none of them fit into my preferences whatsoever. That includes racially. I wouldn't say that I...
That's the thing, is that we really don't know what we want. Like, we can say we know what we want, we can think we know what we want, but, you know, the mind, the heart and the groin say completely different things. The body is an amalgamation of contradiction. Even the brain, we have two hemispheres of the brain. One is an atheist, one believes in God, and the corpus callosum that links the two is the decipher between which one you're going for in the moment. And we need this, Jordan Peterson refers to it as like order and chaos. We need this ambiguity and this this mixture of seeing the world in two completely different ways, in order to, because it makes us the most adaptable in order to be able to survive and reproduce. And so it's good to be able to have an opinion and be able to change it, and to think that you know who you are and then find out that you're not who that person is.
particularly have a racial, at least not one that I would consider to be irrational. Because I think one thing that I get from a lot of comments, particularly from my US audience, is what I see sort of generally on YouTube. Because YouTube is just very Americanized and very America-centric, it therefore seems to project this notion that the rest of the world is like America. And I find that when it comes to talking about Black issues, that then is almost equivalent to African American issues, that everything that has to do with Black is seen from that lens of African American.
It is so weird, because that, like, when there's like the manosphere, for example, and they call it the Black manosphere, and they got Twitter and they call it Black Twitter, and I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. What are you talking about? And Black History Month, it's like, I agree with Morgan Freeman, it's just History Month. It's not, it's not divided. You don't have, it should be called the Divided States of America. So yeah, and again, I've done, I think I did the Rodcast or something like that. I'll put a link in the description where I kind of go into this a bit more. And when I've done reactions to Kevin Samuels, and they go, oh yeah, well, these women, these Black women are, it's got nothing to do with race. It's based on, because you don't have to be a certain race or ethnicity to treat somebody good or badly.
issues and African American concerns and perspectives. And by that, I include sort of African individuals who have African descent who live in Canada as well, in the North Americas. So when it comes to my context and when it comes to where I live in a country where the vast majority of people are white. I live in a city.
I'm in the UK as well, so it'd be interesting to find out where you are.
In a town, city, what have you, in which I for a week without seeing another
Oh, you're in Cambridge. My mate used to live in Cambridge. I went down to see him a few times. It's a lovely little place.
black person. Seriously. Therefore, inevitably, because I am surrounded by a
I think that's why I went to go and see Jordan Peterson when he was in Cambridge, yeah? Yeah, that's right.
vast majority white population, because I am therefore friends and interact with people and I'm acquainted with people who are about 99% of the time white, I therefore am going to be attracted or drawn to those people more, just because that is how I live and where I live. I don't go online for anything but work-related things or to binge watch The Golden Girls, okay, let's be honest. So naturally and just logically, I would be attracted to white people, and the majority of people whom I have dated have been white. Not all, because I have dated black men, I have dated black women. I think that it doesn't matter to me in the way that is at least purported by this comment or by others like it. The last
You
person
know what? I'm not even going to read the comments, because fuck them. Fuck them. If you like what you like, it don't matter. Fuck them.
I dated was a lovely, charming black man. We just didn't have anything culturally in common. And I have, in all honesty, found that, at least when I have dated at least native Africans who have immigrated or are living here as students in the UK and in Cambridgeshire, where I live, that we do have cultural differences, which I have found difficult, at least when we have spoken in person and gotten to know each other, to get beyond. Because of my upbringing, I am very European. I'm very westernized. I'm very, shall we say, white. And I don't like to make generalizations, but just
Yeah, I wish I knew what that meant.
to keep things simplistic. As I said, money and wealth is not something that has mattered to me in my upbringing or now, presently. And I do find that, at least with the black men that I have dated, that money is a big thing, particularly insofar as
I've
proving
got to keep pausing and reading this. Right, this is a phenomenon. Well, money's, I mean, just an exchange of value and information.
that they have money. And also with at least the black men that I have dated, they have all made it quite clear to me that they are interested in a woman who doesn't need to work. That is, that they make enough money, that they have enough of an income that a woman wouldn't have to work, and that children...
I think sometimes the reason why they're doing that and they want the woman at home is so that they don't go out and fuck somebody in the workplace. So I think there's a lack of trust there. But then again, they can just easily fuck the gardener at home. So, or it may be because they genuinely do want to, as a way of protecting and providing for a woman, want to keep her out the workplace. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I suppose it depends on the individual.
would be important to have, not necessarily a priority, but just an important aspect. And if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I really am not attracted to that. I've never been attracted to old money nor new money. It's not something that I care too much about. I am very much a person who cares about experiences when it comes to things such as, for instance,
Because that, what are you going to do with the money? You're only going to buy experiences. That's what it facilitates you to do. If your tooth hurts, it gives you the experience of not having your tooth hurt because you can afford the dentist. If you have money, you can go to a nice restaurant, you can visit a temple somewhere, you know, you can get from A to B. It buys experiences. So money's like the facilitator to it. And I think another thing is it's a control mechanism. So if they say, oh no, you stay at home and I'll make all the money, they get to control you in some sort of way. And again, some women do like that and some don't. And everyone's individual, and that's the beautiful thing about it, is that we're all different.
I do aim one day to own a home of my own. And the reason I want to own a home of my own is because, at least in the UK, 99% of landlords don't allow you to have pets. And I really want to have a dog and a cat. And that is the most viable means for me to actually have control over.
again, that's like my girlfriend. She just wants a dog and a puppy and all this kind of stuff. It's really lovely to think that, and it's a shame because there are so many people out there that have fucking animals that neglect them so badly, and it's disgusting what some people are allowed to get away with, and yet there are some people that really would love a pet and don't have one, and that just winds me up, because it's not much to ask for, is it? Like a loving companionship with a four-legged friend.
That decision. And when I say home ownership, I don't mean a mansion. I really could not care less. It's actually very interesting. I was on a date with a man a few months ago, and he was a black man. It was interesting because he was, he is incredibly aspirational. He's incredibly wealthy. He has great things going for him in life. And that was a big selling point for him. But even though I can see that, at least in our day and age with dating apps, where that is very much a selling point, that is not something that coincidentally is something that attracts me to a man. I found that it was a turn-off for me, that emphasis on wealth, his love of designer clothing, his love of being...
Because it's the same like when a guy looks at a girl and she's so into like a Gucci bag or a bloody makeup or filters, and like it's too preconcerned with how you're coming across, and it's very superfluous and superficial. It's not very deep and meaningful. It's a distraction. It's a guise. It's so many things that is just, you could just tear it down. It's not very thick. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore.
At least, I wouldn't say love, but his show me that he could buy me such things. And this leads on to another comment. Chances are high you wear too much jewelry in order to attract what you like. It makes you look tacky, demanding, and involved. Most smart and well-off guys are into gold. Are as interesting as easygoing and natural, yet
it's so fucking presumptuous.
Effective in female looks and my dear, you are tacky. Right, so I found this incredibly interesting. As you know, I love my jewelry. As you know, I love getting my nails done at least once every 2 weeks. And you can't smell through the camera, but I love Chanel. I love expensive makeup. I love Charlotte Tilbury. All those, And I'm not going to lie.
And it would be interesting to know why you like them, why you're attracted to those things.
I love those things. But you know what I love most about those things? I love that I buy all those things, and that I always have. I buy my luxury makeup. I buy my luxury cosmetics. I pay to get my nails done. I pay to get my hair done. I pay for my Chanel perfumes. I do all of that. And that's what I love about it, because I value these things a lot. And they're things that I like to do. I like to pamper myself. I hate it if somebody else paid for that pamperage or pampering, but at the same time, I love camping. I love boot camps. I love the beach. I love swimming. I love extreme sports. I love all these sorts of things, which I don't publicize on this channel, which I don't publicize at all on social media because, well, as I said, none of my life is offline. And I think this just feeds into, firstly, a point that I want to make, which is that you only see about 30% of me, of who I actually am on this channel.
I know, it's about the shoulders up, the same with me.
This is the same with dating apps. This is the same with all social media. You do not see a whole person. You see, firstly, the best of what a person wants you to.
But also, even if you've been in a relationship with someone for 30 years, you don't always see the whole person. Even that person doesn't see themselves, because we hide things from our own conscience. And we lie to ourselves constantly, which is why it's so adventurous to try and tell the truth, or to at least not lie by being honest. When we look at a person, we only see an avatar, an icon of what that person is. I agree.
See, or an image of what somebody wants you to see. You don't see a person. Nothing about it is real. Nothing about it is wholly real. And that's why I think in person.
And this is why it's interesting why she called this channel Kidology, because when you look at the meaning to it, it's very akin to what I used to do for like 25 years, which was magic. I was a magician, and it was all based on deception and manipulation and all that kind of things, and illusion, making things appear to be one way when they're really not. And you know, so I'm very apt at deception, and I appreciate it, but at the same time, I say when it comes to relationships and you know, being the best version of yourself, you have to go the complete opposite. You have to be honest. You have to just, that's why I say on this channel, the only winning move is not to play the game. Everyone's trying to play a fucking game, and you just don't play the fucking game.
Communication and contact and getting was so important. I could never get to know somebody over the internet, and I could never get to know somebody through my YouTube channel or form a relationship, an actual genuine relationship, romantic relationship with somebody beyond it merely being a parasocial affair. The comment is an absolutely lovely comment, but there is one sentence that I found very, very interesting and that I'd like to elaborate on with regards to what I have been saying. An irony that I cannot help but notice is that I actually wrote an email to you a while ago, but you never replied. I wonder why. This is not a passive-aggressive judgment, but genuine curiosity. And I'd like to respond to that in this video because I thank you, Vlad, and I do remember your email. Vlad sent me an email which actually asked me out on a virtual date, and he sent a link to his website, and it was very interesting because the website is a website in which he is a coach, I believe, or a sort of guide for women and I suppose also men in terms of dating and dating advice, and
I'll have to have a look at his channel as well then, do a reaction video to that
sort of thing. I'm not necessarily sure precisely what it is, but I think it was because of that I actually just thought that it was a product that you wanted me, Vlad, directly to you, that you wanted to go on a date with me because of this product that you were selling, ultimately your time to customers in order to improve their dating skills. So that was why I didn't respond. So I do apologize. I did not realize that it was genuine interest, but now that I realize, it ultimately doesn't change the fact that I have a hard time, and I actually will admit that I have gone on a date or two actually with people who have subscribed to my channel and have seen me out and about in Cambridgeshire and have asked me out. The thing with that is, what I have noticed with that and with individuals who know me online is that they ultimately know who I am online, which is, as I said, only 30% of who I am. And I want to talk about things that are intellectual. Now, if you ask any of my friends if I am intellectual, or if I talk to them about Dostoevsky or about the meaning of life or about hermeneutics, they will laugh you into a corner, because this is really only one side of me. I am a very complex person, and you know what, so is every single other human being on this earth. And I think what the internet has done is it has really created or fabricated this notion that this is our all, that this is authentic, and by authentic, the entirety of our authenticity, which it really isn't. I definitely fall into this, and especially when I get comments of people who are just absolutely lovely and so kind and say that I have helped them or that I really resonate with them. It's phenomenal to read, but it's also very difficult in life to sort of live up to that expectation. I mean, just a very trivial example, I was at a grocery store a few months ago, and this young woman and her friends, they were there, they were students, and they suddenly started laughing. And I realized that they were laughing at me. They said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just, we know you from YouTube and you're just so short." I know they meant no ill intention.
If you do watch this video and you do respond or anything, let us know how tall you are.
Comment at all. It hurt in the moment, I suppose, but also it was funny. I mean, let's be honest. It just made me think sort of how actually, not even with just the physical things, but also just the conversational, the discourse and the dialogue, the personal things, how individuals actually just are so much more than what you can get possibly from a curated profile, from a little paragraph of information, from an Instagram account, from a Twitter feed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point of having an intimate relationship and getting
The
to know
thing
each
that's
other.
different about a Verbo
Another
holiday
fucking
home,
advert.
you
Jesus.
always have the whole place to yourself.
Well, as long as she's making some money from YouTube.
I call BS. She has either been chasing white men validation or only wanting a small percentage of black men because a lot
The way people think, it's so fucking ridiculous.
of black men would date her. Stop it. Okay, I hate this so much. I really do. I really, really hate this. Right. This is a very interesting relation to have in general because I think it is something that has inevitably life just into a lot of my perspectives and also my preference because just my lived experience. I'm South African. I come from probably one of the most racist on earth, and I live in the UK where I am a racial minority. When I recall all racist instances that I have been privy to, regrettably, the majority of those have been black people being racist toward me, saying things such as I should be ashamed of my skin color, that I'm a disgrace to black people, that my skin is disgusting because it is on me, because I'm not black.
This is all so weird. Like, the whole race issue is so ridiculous to me because I really do agree with Martin Luther King. It should be based on the content of somebody's character, not to do with their hair colour or their skin colour or what football team they support. It's bollocks. It should be based on how we treat each other. And the moment that somebody goes to that, whether from a perpetrator or a victim mentality, it's so anti-human.
So, when we think just emotionally and not logically, because nothing to do with attraction, with dating, with love, with romance has really anything to do with logic, right? If we think emotionally about this, irrationally, who am I going to be more drawn to just in terms of having conversations, just in terms of interacting with, especially because since I was born, my mother didn't want me, my father didn't want me, no black families wanted me, no black people wanted me. I was fostered and adopted and fostered again. I was cared for, I was fed by white people. I was given clothes by white people. I was given an education by white people. And yes, it is definitely not as simple as that. This is all due to, of course, institutional, cultural, historical influences which made it such. But in terms of people showing me as an individual actual compassion, especially in my childhood, it came the vast majority of the time from white South Africans. And that inevitably, whether I wanted to or not, influences the people who I am most drawn to, just in terms of befriending, in terms of even having, I guess you could say, preferences. Although importantly, like I said at the beginning of this video, none of the people who I'm actually attracted to or who I have dated, who I have slept with, have in any way met any of the preferences that I could put down on paper. And I think that's a good thing and an important thing. And that is something that we should all appreciate and reckon with. When I sort of read things on Reddit of people talking about their husband or the person that is their significant other, I cannot tell you how many comments I read of people saying, I would never think that I would be with this person. This person is not somebody who I would have dated, who I would have married, who I would have seen myself marrying, being in a relationship with, finding myself attracted to, building a life with. And I think that's a wonderful thing because I do agree, even though I don't agree with the School of Life on much, I do agree with Alain de Botton that you will marry the wrong person, or you will fall in love with the wrong person, or you will become intimate with the wrong person. But I think the important thing is, at least for me, is that yes, I will fall for the wrong person inevitably. I will marry the wrong person inevitably, but I want to do it for the right reasons. And for me, the political leanings of a person, how tall a person is, how much money they make, their race is not a good enough reason for being with someone. And so I may, yes, of course, have those preferences, but when it comes to real life, I actually find myself in absolutely no way subscribing to them because life is just so complex and just makes no sense. In terms of guys that I have dated, I've only dated one guy who has a university degree. In terms of guys that I've liked, which includes a guy who's featured on my channel, Nelson, I had a huge thing for Nelson for a year. He never knew. If he watches this video, then he will know, but I did. But unfortunately, Nelson's always dated like the most stunning Instagram model-esque woman, so I had no hope.
Well, not with that attitude.
Educational intelligence has not really been something that I've been attracted to, even though on paper that definitely is something that I would be attracted to. It makes perfect sense, you know, I should be. But I've always found myself very much attracted to, I guess, sort of emotional vulnerability, sort of somebody who wants to talk about things, about really anything, as long as we can sort of hold a conversation. And yeah, that's always sort of been it, even though on paper I'd never put that down, but that has sort of been what's worked.
Yeah, and I think that's really important.
I guess with all of this being said, in terms of all the men that I've been attracted to, the men who are my preference, I really don't know, because I mean, right now I found myself attracted to a guy who in absolutely no way meets any of my preferences that I'd put on paper, but I think he is the bee's bloody knees. So, you know, it's just, I don't know, we just have made ourselves and are just making ourselves so miserable and so unhappy with this attempt to sort of rationalize things that needn't be rationalized, with our attempt to sort of shame people about their preferences, even when these preferences really don't mean anything, trying to shame people into dating individuals who have the same political views as them, trying to claim that people are right-wing. For anybody who's wondering, I'm not right-wing. I don't care how much you tell me that I am right-wing just because I'm apolitical. I do not care about people. I care about individuals whom I know and love, and that is all I can do viably, realistically.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that they're trying to put you in a group identity instead of just treating you as an individual. It's so, that is the toxicity. When everyone talks about toxic people, that is the toxic thing to do. The individual is more important than the group identity. The moment that you put group identity above the individual, you're fucked.
And all that I want to do, of course, I can issues insofar as etc. I'm not going to go down this route because we've done this before and we will probably do it later on in other videos, but I really cannot offer more than just who I am as a human being, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. And it's incredibly patronizing having individuals tell me that I am something because they know better, even though they seemingly come from a part of the political spectrum.
Fuck them! Tell them to fuck off!
Which is trying to humanize minorities by giving them sort of agency over their thoughts and feelings and prospects in life. But, you know, all politics is basically hypocrisy, contradiction, paradox. So I can't expect any more. I think in terms of the guys that I am attracted to, I really cannot tell you, because it just fluctuates and just goes in directions that I would not imagine in my wildest dreams. And I think that is what makes relationships and can make relationships exciting and enticing, the unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, like, my girlfriend and the girls that I've always ended up with have always been the ones that I've always wanted. So I can't really, it's I just wouldn't settle. I'll just be single. I'd rather just not be with anybody if somebody doesn't meet my preferences. And I've got very high expectations. So I'm a bit different probably in that regard, because I don't go outside of who I fancy. I physically can't do it. There are certain girls of which I'm repulsed by. So I just couldn't date somebody that wasn't exactly who I wanted.
And just going with it. I don't care. And I really mean that. I do not care. I don't care if you are a PhD student. I don't care if you have a 6-figure income. I don't care if you live in your mom's basement and are a security guard. We all have different things. We all have...
That's the thing, is that I lived in a van for about a year and a half or so. I was made homeless and I lived in a van and I was going on 3 dates a day. Women do not care about those things. You know, they split people up, the men's usually in terms of lover and provider, and you can get your gold diggers and stuff, but do you really want to be dating a gold digger, even if you're rich? Because everything that you've accrued, let's assuming that you built your own business, she'll fucking take. So do you really want that to be the priority of concern? No, you want to date somebody that likes you for you, whether you got money or not, whether you're tall or not, whether you got shaved beard or not, whatever the fuck. Especially if you're looking for a long-term relationship, because you're going to be getting old together. And, you know, old people are different to young people because things tend to decline after a certain age in every aspect. So, you know, it depends if you want a one-night stand or a, you know, a long-term relationship or somewhere in between. But no matter what you're looking for, whether it's a one-night stand or a long-term relationship, you need honesty, trust and respect.
Wants, expectations, whatever. But, yeah, I can't offer any more than that. And,
Oh, she's got patrons. I might get a patron. I've thought about that.
you know, if I've caused you offense, I've caused you offense. I'm not going to apologize for it. I can't apologize for it because it is what it is.
Well, if I got offended, which I didn't, then it'd be my fault, not yours.
So let's just be a bit, I guess, a bit more empathetic toward one another, because we really are making ourselves so miserable, so sad and so angry at the end of the day. And there really isn't a need for it. But anyway, I'm
Jesus Christ, she's got a lot of patrons.
going to go and meet my 50-year-old white friend, and we are going to talk about the latest episode of Catfish. I don't just read books and talk about things. So thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate each and every one of you, even those of you who do not understand me or cannot fathom what I'm going on about. I appreciate you greatly.
Well, I don't know much about you, but from this 35 minutes that I've seen, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I can't think of anything that I disagree with.
And I'll see you very soon in the next one.
Nice little wink at the end there. Yeah, lovely video by a lovely lady. Hello, my name is Doug and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever.